Good morning.
We're learning Mishna Yevamos, Perek Beis, Chapter 2, Mishna 2. Now, just to quickly review yesterday's Mishnah so that we can understand today's Mishnah better. So yesterday we're talking about the case of Eishes Achav Shalahoya Bailamai, the wife of the brother that you were not there in his lifetime. The brother was not yet born before the other brother died. And the case of the Mishnah was that you had two brothers. One of the brothers died without children, and then a third brother was born. So that brother cannot do yibam on his brother's wife because she is his brother's wife, whom he never shared the world with. We'll just say it like that. So now, when that brother died, and yibam was not the case of the Mishnah before was the second brother did not yet do yibam when the third brother was born. So that means that when the third brother was born, this woman was in a state of yibum. She was in a state of yibum when this third brother was born. That means she, as we say, she fell to him for yibum, but no yibum is done because of the fact, even when he grows up, because of the fact that him and his brother were never alive together, and therefore his wife, there's no mitzvah to do his wife. But the other brother who was alive, brother two that was alive with the first brother, he's got another wife. He does yibam on the first brother's wife. He now has two wives. He has the erva to the third brother and a co-wife. If that second brother dies, and now again they both fall to the third brother, there won't be yibam on any of them, because the wife of the first brother is an erva to the third brother, since they were never alive together, and her co-wife is exempt because she's the co-wife of an erva. So that was yesterday's case. But the point that we have to remember for today's Mishnah is that yesterday's Mishnah, the third brother was born before the second brother did yibum. That's the case before. Now our Mishnah says like this: Shnei Achim, you have two brothers. Umeis Achad Mehen, one of them dies without children. V'yibeim hashenis eishes achiv, and the second brother went and did yibum on his brother's wife. 100% kosher, unquestionable yibum. Okay? And then a third brother was born. After the second brother did yibum on the first brother's wife, he already married the first brother's wife, that's when the third brother was born. Vames. And then the second brother dies without children. Says the Mishnah, the first one, meaning the wife of the first brother, will go out free. There is no yibum, there is no chalisa. She can marry anybody she wants because she is the wife of his brother that he did not share the world with. Vashniya, and the co-wife of the brother who did yibum on the first brother's wife, is also going to go free, mishum sarasa, because it's the co-wife of the erva. It's the co-wife of the brother's wife that he was not in the world with together. Okay, but here the point is that when was that third brother born? After the yibum of the second brother. There was never a point of time that the first brother's wife, when the first brother died, that she ever fell for yibum to this third brother. She was already married to the second brother through yibum by the time he was born. Nonetheless, the Mishnah still says that when the second brother dies without children, and now the wife of the first brother falls again to the third brother, and the co-wife, she is still called the wife of his brother that he did not live in the same world with, because she had been married to the first brother, and she's an erva, and there's no yibum on any of them. Now the Mishnah goes through what it said similarly to yesterday. Asa b'maimer, if let's say the case is the second brother didn't do yibum, but rather he just did maimer. He did the kedushin d'Rabbanan. He did the rabbinic betrothal on the Yevama that does not make her his wife according to Torah law. It's only according to rabbinic law. But the second brother did maimer on the wife of the first brother, and then the third brother was born. Vames, and then the second brother who did maimer dies. Then we say Hashnia chayletzes v'lo yivis yabemis. The second wife, meaning the co-wife of the of the woman that he did mimer on, because he already had a wife, but now his brother died, so his brother's wife fell to him for Yibam, but he only did mimer. So as we said yesterday, the co-wife was married to the second brother 100% according to Torah law. The wife of the first brother, he only did mimer on, which is only rabbinic. So really, the second wife, the co-wife, is not really a co-wife of an erva, because she's not really even a co-wife. According to Torah law, she's the only one who's really married to him. Nonetheless, the Rabbanan said, since the woman who fell to Yibam, mimer was done, rabbinically she's seen as married to the second brother, so therefore we can't allow Yibam on the co-wife, but you can't let her go free either, because according to Torah law, the mitzvah of Yibam applies to her, and therefore she does chalitza, not Yibam. That's the first opinion. Rabbi Shimon Oimer, Rabbi Shimon says, Miyabeim le'ez mehen sheyirtzeh. This third brother, when the second brother dies, he can do Yibam on any one of them that he wants, or he can do chalitz in any one of them that he wants. According to Rabbi Shimon, this third brother who was born after the Yibam of the second brother does not have the prohibition on his first brother's wife as the wife of the brother he was not in the world with. Because as the wife of the first brother, she never fell to him for Yibam. And therefore, since she never fell to him to Yibam, because he was born after the second brother's Yibam, we only see her as the wife, guarding the third brother as the wife of the second brother. So you've got a regular case of a brother dying with two wives. The surviving brother does Yibam or Chalitza, and whichever one he wants, and the other one goes free. That's Rabbi Shimon's opinion. According to Rabbi Shimon, the brother who was not in the world together with the first brother, if he's born after the Yibam, the second brother and the first brother's wife, there is no prohibition, there is no problem of an erva, he can do Yibam 100%. The Baratunura says the halacha is not like Reb Shimon. The halacha is like the first opinion. So even if it was born after the Yibam of the second brother, when that first brother's wife falls to him to Yibam again because the second brother died, she will be forbidden to him, she'll be an erva, because she's the wife of his brother that he was not in the same world with, and she and her co-wife will be exempt from anything. They can go free. Okay, let's now do the Chofetz Chaim. She was, and still so. She has she's still considered the wife of the first brother. That's the point. That's the chiddush. She's considered that wife of the first brother. Halacha. Okay. All right. Now, so the Chofetz Chaim has been discussing if you see a person who has a bad character trait. So he said you cannot tell others about it. That would be lashon hara, because maybe the person doesn't know any better, and therefore you should go on your own. You should rebuke him and point out to him that this kind of a bad character trait is a very serious prohibition, and therefore, and maybe he'll even admit that he didn't realize it, and from then on take upon himself to be better. Even so, if you see a certain person has a negative trait, going gaiva, he's haughty, kas, he gets angry easily, or he has other bad traits, he's lazy, he's stingy, or he doesn't study Torah properly, he wastes his time. It is appropriate, it's proper to tell this over to your son or to your students, and to warn them not to associate with him, so in order not to learn from his actions. The problem is that if your children or your students are going to hang around with this person who has the bad trait, they may pick it up from him. And therefore, if you know that he has that bad trait, you may tell them, you may warn them about the bad trait, and warn them not to hang around with him. That which the Torah forbade speaking lashon hara, even if it's true, that's if your intent is to shame the person and to rejoice over his shame. Or, in the very least, if the bottom line is what you're doing is, you are shaming him. Whether that's you're doing it in order to shame him. You may not be doing it to shame him, but at the end of the day, that's what you're doing. But But if your intention of saying it is to warn someone else not to learn with that person's actions, Pashat Mutar u'mitzvah nami'ika, it is permissible to do so, and there's even a mitzvah to do so in order to make sure people do not learn those bad traits. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi.